All right. Episode 3 of the Grey Game podcast. I know you guys have been waiting for it. I've been taking a little longer than I should have. So, of course, I thank you all for waiting and hopefully you enjoy this episode. Yeah. Now, first things first, yeah. Stop dating parasites. And this is not a gender thing. It's not don't date women who are parasites or don't date men who are parasites. Don't date both. Do you understand? You see a parasite is someone that feeds on a human being. They need a host, yeah? This is even deeper than just being a user. You see someone that's a user, they think very short-term. Short-term thinking gets you short-term results. Do you understand? A parasite needs to feed on all your energy. They need to feed on your life. Sometimes they want your life. Do you understand? And here's the problem. You see when we talk about boundaries in relationships, yeah? People like to say, I'm militant with my boundaries. This can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. You see, when you're being militant with your boundaries, you don't realize it, but you're just teaching the parasite how to adapt. Do you understand? That's what's scary about parasites. They can adapt on the fly just like that. You're teaching them how to change who they are so they can be the person they need you to be, or you want them to be so they can continue using you, yeah? There was a study in sociology called the Hawthorne effect, or the Hawthorne experiment. And what happened is with workers, they observed them. And it's also called the observation expectancy study. Yeah. And when observing these workers, they would observe them without surveillance. So they had observations where they would film the workers. And they had observations where they wouldn't film the workers. What would happen is, when being filmed, a lot of the workers worked to the best of their ability. They was a lot more productive because they know they're being watched. They know they're being observed. When they wasn't being filmed, they act more natural. Yeah, they were being more themselves. They were behaving more in their element. How I'm linking this to my point is when you're militant with your boundaries, when you say stuff like, I won't accept this, whatever, that's good for a normal person. But when you're dealing with a parasite, you're just teaching them how to adapt. Now that they know that they're being watched, they're going to change themselves and they'll stop behaving naturally. Yeah. So sometimes, I don't want to say pretend to be weak, but sometimes play a bit dumb. One thing a parasite does is when they feel like they've got you hooked, when they feel like they've got you on lock, when they feel like you won't leave, the real them will come out. And when the real them comes out, then you can make your decision. You see me when it comes to dating or relationships, I don't scream, I don't shout, I don't argue. I observe. And when I'm observing, I'm building my Rico case. And when I feel like I've seen enough, I'm gone. Do you understand? I am not giving nobody the chance to adapt and pretend to be who they think I want them to be so that they can buy time and stay with me longer. Nah. Sometimes you need to play the game. Do you understand? So stop dating parasites. Do not allow yourself to be used. Do not allow yourself to be drained just so that you can have a partner. All right? So that's my first point. Moving on to the second. You see online, yeah, and this is what my beef is with the red pill community and nice guys even. You see a lot of nice guys. You lot break your own hearts. I'm tired of hearing guys online bitching and crying. Women don't like nice guys. They don't want good guys, whatever. My brother, you broke your own heart. Does that make sense? The problem with a lot of you nice guys is you want to be liked so much that you'll abandon yourself. You'll abandon your dignity just so a girl can like you. It's mad. And secondly, the problem with a lot of you nice guys as well, you act like women are supernatural creatures that don't eat and go to the toilet and drink water and breathe oxygen just like you. They're not different. They're not godly beings. They're not divine people. They are humans just like you. Does that make sense? And that's the problem with the nice guy. Let me tell you something here. Just the other day, I was operating out of my own nature. Yeah? I tried to live up to what social media says is a good boyfriend or a good partner. And I realized I was operating out of my nature. So you know what I did? I went home and I ran a bath. You know when you have a baptism and you go in the water and you come out born again? I dipped myself in the water and I came out wicked. Yeah? Because let me tell you something. When I was a horrible person, I didn't have problems with women. When I changed and became a nicer guy and a kinder guy, I got taken advantage of. Does that make sense? What a lot of nice guys fail to understand is this. That gender does not care if you're a nice person or a good person. They care if they're attracted to you or you have something to offer. Does that make sense? And the saddest thing about nice guys is, yeah, a lot of nice guys have very good jobs. They have so much going for themselves. And you let that creature use you. Why? I don't get it. Like, you see, you'll get all these nice guys killing themselves and stressing themselves out and going mad. And the woman they're doing it for, it's like, you look at her and you think, why? If you take that woman and you drop her in the middle of Miami, she's invisible. She's looking like Sue Storm. She's not who you think she is. Does that make sense? A lot of you nice guys have a wicked granddad or a wicked great grandfather. Learn how to channel his spirit from beyond the grave if you have to. Say, grandfather, guide me. But stop being nice. Stop being a good guy. It's not doing nothing for you. I know women who stayed in relationships with men that beat up their dad. Imagine that. Punched up her dad. Yeah? Dad tried to step in for his daughter, just got bare rib shots. Pat, pat, pat. He's on the ground. Talking like them people that have the voice box. Call the police. Yeah? And she still stayed with him. What does that tell you? Imagine that. A man 8 trigrammed and 64 palmed your pops and you stay with him. That should teach you. They've shown you online, they've shown you in life, they do not care if you're a nice person. Be valuable, be lit, have something to offer. Be a decent person, don't be nice. Be good enough. Yeah? And that's what I always say, like, a lot of you guys broke your own hearts, bro. Do you understand? Go with women that align with you. Go with women that mirror you. If you are a nice, sweet guy, go and find yourself a nice, sweet girl. A lot of you nice guys with good jobs, good households and all of these things, you lot go and pick up a hood rat that has anger issues and you're crying because she broke your heart. Of course she broke your heart. She's chaotic. That's what she comes from. You did that to yourself. So I think a lot of the nice guys need to take accountability. They're always complaining women don't take accountability. No, you take accountability. Yeah? You broke your own heart, my brother. Do you understand? I'll even give you a story. You see, back in the days, I would have been about 19. There was this girl I was chatting to, but I flew up to her uni to go see her. So obviously, she showed me some local restaurant around her uni, innit? We went there to eat, whatever, nice little date. And I drop her back to her accommodation. She's like to me, oh, so what? Don't you want to come upstairs? So I went upstairs and I spent the night at her accommodation, yeah? But when we're in the room and I'm kicking off my shoes to make myself comfortable, she gets a phone call. And when she gets a phone call, there's one guy on the other side of the phone. One guy, I think he's in her class. He was in her class. And he's like, oh, what are you doing? I really want to see you, etc., etc. Do you know what she said to him? I can't see you today because I'm in the library studying. Imagine that. She wasn't in the library. She's with me. Do you get my point? College times, I would have been about, 17. There was one girl, yeah, she looked like Meg Thee Stallion. No word of a lie, but short. Cold. Do you understand? And me and her was talking. And the guy she was with was talking to her about marriage and families, gassing her up, writing her love letters, all these things, yeah? I spoke to her for 1 week. Guess who got to touch her first? Me. Do you understand? She was with me. And halfway through it, she was crying, saying, I can't believe I'm doing this to him. Well, you've done it now. No use crying. What's done is done. Do you understand? When I went back to college and I see this guy holding her hand and swinging hands and talking about, oh, my girl, nobody's like my girl. I used to look at that you and laugh at him. I thought, you're a punk. Do you understand? Stop being nice. Be decent. Yeah? That's my lesson for today. And now I'm moving on. Cool. What we got here? Get a citizenship and set up a bank account abroad, yeah? You see, unlike black Americans who are from America, so it's like their parents are from America, yeah? If you're from the UK or Europe in general, you have an advantage that they don't have. Most of the time, our parents come from somewhere else, yeah? So we have the opportunity to get a dual citizenship. Where I think a lot of guys go wrong is they tether themselves to the UK. It's the UK or nothing. I don't think you understand how advantageous it is to have a second citizenship or a second passport. You shouldn't lean on the British passport or the British citizenship too much. I remember years ago, what was her name? Shamima Begum, I think her name was. Was that? Yeah. and she was involved in the terrorism and whatnot. And I remember there was that case where they took away her citizenship or something like that. Now, I'm never going to get involved in terrorism, right? But that little situation made me feel a little bit uneasy, because to see someone's citizenship get yanked away like that, it made me think, you never know what could happen. Set up a bank account abroad. Yeah. Do you know how many times my cards in the UK have been dead and I just make a phone call and get money sent to that account? I've been on holiday and my cards have been dead. And I've made a phone call and the money got sent to my account. And don't touch that money. When you get your bank account abroad, yeah, do not touch it. Every little spare change you have, forget buying Lebanese grill, forget going out to drink, even forget a date once in a while, yeah? Use that money and just keep sending it to that account over there. And I promise you, my brother, when you're in bad times, when you're on your face, when nothing's making sense anymore, and you look in that account, bro, you'll smile. Do you understand? There's times I've been on my face and then I click and I realize, hold on, I've got money. Because I didn't touch that money for years. Make sure it's a last resort. You never know when you might have to leave this country and go to your parents' or your grandparents' country to settle down. You see, like, even with the Caribbean and Africa now, yeah, there is so much investment that if you was to even invest or set up a shipping company where you did imports and exports, bro, you would make so much money. Does that make sense? There's a lot of, forget even natural resources, even stuff like mangoes, stuff like that, that the UK doesn't grow itself. There's a lot of things that are grown abroad that the UK doesn't grow itself. If you was to do, like I said, import, exports, if you was to go there and buy land, do Airbnbs, whatever it is you do, it makes it so much easier to do business. That's why I'm an advocate for having a second citizenship. Set up a second account. You never know when you might have to spend a year in another country. Life is not just the UK. That makes sense? Our parents or grandparents, they came here at their big age for a new life and opportunity. You never know where you might have to go abroad and do that. You don't know what could happen. So look into that. If you're eligible for a second citizenship, if you're eligible for a dual passport, do it. And once you do it, set up that second bank account. Go for it. We can't be playing games no more, man. International. You know what I mean? Yeah. My third point. All right. This is something that people have been talking about for a very long time. Actually, not a very long time, actually. Tell a lie. Like, I've been hearing about this in the last couple of months, yeah? And it's been a debate. Was London worse back then? And I'm here to tell you 100 million%. But it's not for the reasons you think. And I know when people say this, they use the common reasons. Oh, there's a lot more cameras, so you can't get away with stuff. That might be true, yeah? But I think it's deeper than that. Not I think, I know it's deeper than that. Do you understand? People forget London is sexy now. When you walk outside, you see all these nice new buildings, all these new restaurants, all these skyscrapers that weren't there before. London is sexy now. You see, back in the days, bro, I can tell you about Cowan Court. Do you understand? I can tell you about the precinct, old precinct in Stonebridge, where Rocky used to be underneath, Rockies. Yeah? You see Cowan Court, bullet holes and pigeons in windows. The lift don't work. Stairs smell like piss. Clark Court, Prover House. Do you understand? White flats in Church Road. When the bridge used to go over into Southside from Northside Stonebridge. So the point I'm trying to make is, all these estates, all these buildings, they got torn down. It doesn't look the same. And this ties into my next point. It's about culture. You see, back in the days, it was cool to be rough. It was cool to be hood. It was cool to be ghetto. People forget there was a point in our lives where if you was a well-spoken black person, everyone will say, oh, this guy acts like a white guy. He talks like a white guy. It wasn't cool to be educated or have a wide vocabulary. It wasn't. I know we like to rewrite history, but it really weren't. All the kids who used to talk like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, they got bullied, bro. Everyone will be like, oh, this guy acts like a white guy, and they'll violate him. But we live in a time now where Londoners want to be bougie, especially Londoners from the hood. Nobody wants to be hood anymore. When's the last time you saw a block party? You didn't. When I was a kid, all the older lot, I'm talking what, 20s and 30s, block parties all the time. They're always standing on the corner because they love the hood. Back in the days, graffiti everywhere. You dressed a certain way, you talk a certain way because it was cool. Now everyone wants to be bougie. The overall culture of London has changed. It's not even about cameras. It's deeper than that. It's about culture. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, you got people from the hood that are playing tennis, going paddle. They go in Dubai. They want to travel. They want to wear certain clothes. Now people are comfortable exercising their vocabulary. Now everybody wants to learn new words. Everybody reads now. Back in the days, you think it was cool to read. And people keep saying, no, it's an age thing. We grew up. Nah. That is a cop-out. I know a lot of ignorant olders when I was a kid, bro. Some real ignorant dudes. Let's stop pretending it's an age thing. It's a culture thing, yeah? Everybody wants to exercise their vocabulary now. People want to be bougie. You see now, this is probably the first time in the last maybe 2-3 years I've heard people who are ghetto call people ghetto. I'm not doing that. That's ghetto. This is ghetto. Nobody wants to be ghetto anymore. So you see the way that nobody wants to be hood anymore, yeah? Nobody wants to do hood things. Everybody wants to own businesses. Everybody wants to be clean. Everybody wants to live this life. Do you understand? We live in an era now where if a guy is on certain things or he acts a certain way, people will laugh at him. They'll call him a waste man. It's not cool to be bad anymore. So now that the culture has officially changed, and I did a TikTok video about this months ago saying like the bad man era is done. Now that the culture has officially changed, yeah, it's gone safer because the direction that the culture has gone in is no longer violence. Do you understand? When I was growing up, if you wasn't bad, you better stay in your yard. Do you understand? Now you can be a cool youth and people will take you in. People will celebrate you. So the overall culture has changed. It's not just about cameras and violence. Yeah, of course, cameras. If you shoot someone, you're going to hit a red light. Like, you're going to jail the next day in 24 hours. Like, we know this. But like I said, with the culture, all these estates got torn down. The hood doesn't even look like the hood anymore. You go Bridge right now, it's new builds. You go Church Road right now, it's new builds. It's changed. Do you understand? How can you be talking greasy and talking about how rough you grew up and your ends does not look rough? It's changed. So the culture of London has changed. Yeah, it's got nothing. Obviously, it has something to do with cameras, but it's got nothing. It's not strictly about cameras. Yeah. So that's just my point. Let's see what we got here. Cool. Oh, yes. This is my favorite. Yeah. Forget being a footballer or a rapper. You see, like a lot of people, especially if you come from like a disadvantageous background, everybody wants to be a footballer or a rapper. And then like when guys can't kick ball, when guys don't blow in rap, the third option is I'm just going to jump on the roads. I'm going to jump on the streets. Do you know why that mindset is problematic? Because so many people are robbing themselves from opportunities because they're so close-minded. Why does everything have to be football and rap? Do you understand? You see when I cut through the ends, do you know how many of them muscle men you see in the park just doing pull-ups and pumping weights? All day, every day. Bro don't have a job, he just pumps weights. Yeah? Go join a local MMA gym and learn some combat sports and go in the cage and break someone's head for money. Stop wasting your athleticism. Do you understand? How many kids growing up say to themselves, you know what, I want to play tennis. We need to learn how to saturate other sports, other areas. It's not just football. Do you understand? There's some fast kids. Go and do 100-meter sprinting. 200 meters, sprint, do track and field. I'm going to make a point about that later on in this video about why track and field isn't that desirable as a sport. But for now, there's so many different sports. Now, people like to say, oh, with football, the barrier of entry is low, which is true. You can get 2 shirts, make a goal, go in the park, play some football, whatever. That's not a lie. However, this is why I go into community. We always like to talk about the community, the culture. But the culture and the community never funds other people's dreams. If you're a kid and you want to play something like tennis, where not many people from our background play that sport, why is there not a guy in the ends that has bread that can find you a coach and pay for the coach? Well, you find the coach and he pays for the coach. Why isn't there an organization, yeah, that can fund these things? You know, there's certain businesses, the only reason their business took off is because of angel investors. If you know what an angel investor is, these are people that they have money to just invest in other people's dreams. Of course, they get a percentage. Do you understand? Everybody's always talking about the culture, the community. Why does nobody fund these young kids' dreams? And then when guys play football and they go in the academy and it don't happen, they want to unalive themselves. They want to jump on the roads because their dreams didn't come true. Their dreams didn't come true because we tell them the only dream, the only way you can make it out is football or rapping. I promise you, broaden your horizons. Does that make sense? Like I said, MMA, obviously boxing's a bit different. With boxing, by the time you're 18 or 19, if you weren't doing it from then, the chances of you making it as a pro boxer are very slim. You'll make it, but you won't be any good. You won't get anywhere. You won't make no crazy money. Does that make sense? So I would say with MMA, it's a lot different. The barrier of entry to MMA, especially in London, is actually very low. MMA is actually growing in the UK. I would say now it's like the Bitcoin era of MMA Bitcoin era of MMA in the UK. So if you get in now, I promise you, you'll get somewhere in the future. It's better to buy in early and cash out later than try and do it when it's the new craze. And especially if you're a marketable guy, I'll even help you. How about that? If you're a marketable guy, if you know how to sell yourself, my brother, you will make money. Look at people like McGregor and all of these people. They knew how to sell themselves. You'll make money. I will also speak about that later on in this video. You'll make money, bro. So like I said, if you're a hench muscle man, go in the cage, make some bread. Even if you make it to the UFC and Dana White scams you, at least you made more money than you would have probably ever made in your lifetime just doing pull-ups in your local park. Do you understand? So yeah, man, we need to start teaching these youngers. We need to start teaching people there are different sports. If you're one of them 6'5" freaks in school, go play basketball. Do something. Broaden your horizons. Yeah, man. I'm tired of this footballer and rapper. It's more than that. Even Formula One. Cool, that's another thing that's very difficult to get into, but we need to try. Think I'm saying? Try. Yeah. Simply put, hold on. Okay. This is another thing, yeah? And I find it very problematic, and we've seen this a lot with Mo Gilligan and Michael Ward and even Young Philly. High profile guys forget who they are. Does that make sense? They still think they're the same person they was when they was living in their mum's yard, and it's like, you're not. There are some things you just can't do with the platform and the name that you have. Does that make sense? Like, 2 reasons. Number 1, yeah, with guys like that, I'm not talking about them specifically, but guys like that. One thing a lot of high profile guys forget when it comes to women. Women are like Martin Luther King. They had a dream. And that dream is, I want to elevate in life. So if you're moving to just a normal girl from the ends, or a normal girl in general, and you do your thing with her and you think you're going to skip off into the sunset, are you mad? She's not letting you go. She can't get any better. This is her golden opportunity to fly high in life. So if you think you're just going to come down, mash up her head, have your fun with her and skip off into the sunset, my brother, you will have issues. Does that make sense? If you are a high profile guy, date women who are on your level or above. And when I say on your level, I mean on your level of visibility. That makes sense? And then the two of you, it's transferable. Like, just date people on your level, basically. And my second point, when speaking about the 3 guys I've just mentioned, the problem with a lot of high profile guys is they have a level of entitlement. And I've seen this with them, yeah? They think just because of who they are, women are supposed to just open their legs for them. And it's like, life doesn't go like that. It really doesn't. Like, I know you may think, cool, I've got how many hundreds of thousands of followers. This girl's supposed to just lay down with me. Nah, it doesn't work like that. And the problem with a lot of well-known guys or established guys, their entitlement breeds into crossing boundaries. Yeah? They start taking liberties with people's daughters because they naturally believe this person belongs to me because of who I am. And I've come here to tell you again, life does not work like that. Number 1, nobody belongs to anybody. Number 2, brother, I know people always say, oh, women love clout, women are clout chasers. That's true to a degree. But you have to do things case by case. Not every woman is the same. So just because she slept with you just because of who you are and you've got a blue tick, that doesn't mean this one over here is going to sleep with you as well. You could have 100 million followers. She just might think, yo, this guy's just not attractive. She's just not feeling you. And that's not a crime. Do you understand? So it's the entitlement I've noticed with a lot of these high profile guys. They think like, oh, because of who I am, like girls are supposed to just like me. And this is why they get into the situations they get into, because they don't know how to take no for an answer, because they're entitled. And then when they get bagged and they get handcuffed, they start crying about, oh, you lot have judged me guilty before I've been proven innocent and all of this stuff. No. Yeah. Box clever. Do you understand? Be smart. Know what you're doing. So in the first example that I gave, you cannot be going around dating normal women, introducing them to a lifestyle that you have no intentions of maintaining, using her. Nobody likes to feel used, let alone women. Using her, kicking her to the curb, and expecting her not to have any grievances about that. That's common sense, my guy. There are some things you just don't do as a human being. Yeah? And number two is just entitlement. Women do not owe you their crutches. You cannot be thinking, oh, because of who I am, I should just get a bag of girls. So look in the mirror. If you are that kind of guy, if you are a guy that's well known or you got followers or whatever, look in the mirror and say to yourself, yes, I might be well known, but I am not Jesus. Yeah? Get rid of that God complex, because you'll get in trouble. Exactly. All right. What we got? Okay. Now, contrary to popular belief, yeah, I know sometimes I can come across as a bit of a woman hater, but I'm not. Okay, I'm actually a really nice guy. Yeah. So I do like to do videos for women. This one's for the girls. Yeah. This one's for the girls. And I had a girl message me actually. And she told me, oh, I'm in a relationship with someone who's like, he's a cool guy, he's a good guy, he does everything right, but he won't spoil me. He don't spend any money on me. He doesn't take me anywhere. And I'm here to tell you, even though you're a good woman, there's a lot of good women who can't get the best out of a man. They can't get anything out of a man. And they think it's their fault. But it's not your fault. There's a reason good women can't get the best out of a man, and it's for two reasons. Number one, yeah, you don't use manipulative tactics. Yeah? What I mean by that, there's some women that when they're talking to a man, they'll brag about all the things that their old man did. They'll say stuff like, my ex did this for me, my ex, the kind of man they've dated, I've dated this guy. Sometimes it might not even be true. They could be making up experiences. But the reason they're doing this is because they're trying to set a standard for the new man that they've met. Because they know they cannot get this man to do the most off the strength of just being them. They know that. So the best way I can get the most out of this man, because men are naturally competitive. We like to compete. And if you've entered a woman's life and you find out, cool, she's used to this level of treatment or what her old man did for her, you'll try and match that or exceed that. Some men, most men, yeah? But it's a good short-term strategy. It doesn't work in the long term, because eventually the man will wake up and think to himself, well, if your ex was so great, why are you not with him? That makes sense. It's a good short-term strategy. Some women will play on a man's confidence. They'll attack a man's ego. They'll attack a man's pocket. I've dealt with women in the past, like, and when I'm not doing what they want me to do, they'll start getting nasty and disrespectful. Because as far as they're concerned, you're holding out on me. I even had one say that to me. She said to me, oh, look at the watch that you have and look at the car you're driving. I know you're holding out on me. I was flabbergasted. I said, what? That makes sense. But as far as she's concerned, you're not giving me what I think I should get. That's why I said it's a good short-term strategy. In the short term, they'll get stuff out of a man. But in the long term, they wouldn't. Those women usually get dropped. And they have to go from man to man to man to finesse. Yeah? And here's the problem with a lot of good women. You guys don't command that because you don't command much of yourself. You can be a good person and a good woman, but what does your image say? At the end of the day, we're still human beings. Image means a lot. That makes sense? It means a lot. If you're a good woman, forget how he treats you. How do you treat yourself? Have you booked yourself a spa treatment? Yeah? Do you do your hair often? What kind of wigs do you wear? When you and your friends go out, where do you lot go? What do you lot do? Do you understand? It's not as simple as, well, I'm a good person, so I should get the most. Let me just, like, there was a girl that I worked with, you know? A wonderful girl, like a very good-hearted girl. And she was with this man for 4 years. And they got engaged, they had an engagement party, whatever, yeah? And the day before the engagement, because I think in their culture, they was meant to like they've got engaged, or they was planned to get engaged, the way she explained it to me. But they had to have some big engagement party where they make it official, something like that, yeah? And she went abroad to do it. And the day before he was meant to make the engagement official, he told her he doesn't want to be with her anymore. And bro, I felt it for her. It even broke my heart. I said, wow, like, that's cold. And she was crying at work and everything. And I could tell she was a good person. And she would say to me, all the years I was with him, he didn't have a job. I was funding his lifestyle. He was just at home drinking all day, every day. All of these things. And she's like, why? Why is this happening to me? But she made one fatal mistake. Look at the way you're treating him. You're treating a grown man like he's your son. You was not put on earth to be anyone's mum. That makes sense? Why are you mothering him? Number two, he got away with that because he knows he can. You see, with a lot of men, they'll do what they know they can. Some women will be like, oh, he took money off me, he didn't pay me back. Yeah, because he knows he can. Do you understand? How do you treat yourself? And I would often say to her, so what do you do for fun in that? She's like, I just go to work and I go home. She was funding a lifestyle and he knows, cool. Every time this man goes to work and every time she goes to work and she comes home, he knows what to expect. That makes sense? Treat yourself like you're up here and a man will come and meet your standards. You don't need to insult him because that's childish. There's a lot of women that say, oh, these men are brokies, he's broke, whatever. But they don't know how to command that level of treatment out of the man. Insulting a man is childish. Like, you see me, whenever women cuss me or insult me to get what they want, I'll just stop talking to you. You'll just never hear from me again. And I'm sure I'm not the only man on planet Earth who's like that. That makes sense? Learn how to carry yourself a certain way. There's a girl that I went on a date with, I think 3 years ago? And I can't lie, her body was crazy now that I think about it. Her looks were crazy. She drove a big boy car and she had a good job. Yeah? When I met her, I knew I had to conduct myself in a certain manner to even keep her attention. That makes sense? And when I say conduct myself in a certain manner, I mean I had to come correct. And even when I took her out, like on the first date, we vibed, whatever. But before I took her out, even the conversations we was having, she'll message me, oh, I'm in Knightsbridge, where are you? I want to link up. Little things like that. When I talk to her, where are you going today? I'm going spa, I need to treat myself. Little things like that. So in talking to her, I know if I enter this woman's life, I have to match that. Or I have to come correct. Even if I'm not spending bare money on her, even the way I conduct myself, that person is never going to see me in a lesser light. That makes sense? Some of you women don't treat yourselves. You don't look after yourself. Yeah? And then that's why men will take advantage. You see me, it's not my character to take advantage of people. So I've met some women who are low maintenance. I'll still take you out. I won't take you nowhere crazy, but I'll still take you out. That makes sense? But it's like, I know I don't have to do the absolute most to impress you. It's sad, but it's so true. Now, if those women were doing their hair constantly, if they was getting their wax done, if they was doing their laser, if they was looking after themselves and treating themselves like they see themselves at a grand level, I would match that because that's what you demand of yourself. I did a video of this on TikTok and I said, women in the UK don't know how to finesse. And I said, let me tell you about my aunt. Yeah? And I spoke about her. See, my aunt, to this day, I always say, I've never seen a finesser of her ilk. To this day. Yeah? A lot of women that like to brag about finessing men, I finessed that man. Yeah, I took 5 bills off him. What is 5 bills? 5 bills can't even pay your council tax. And that's what you're bragging about. You're finessing short-term things. That's why you see a lot of women and they're sexed out and they look tired. Yeah? Because they're finessing in the short term. I got a restaurant out of him. I got a holiday out of him. I got some money out of him. But what did he get out of you? You look tired. Your soul's defeated. Yeah? You look broken. There's a lot of broken looking women. Because they finesse in the short term. Long term. Think long term. Do you understand? Like even, well, she's my great aunt because she was, well, she weren't any of my parents' siblings. So she was like my great aunt. But even with her, because when I was a kid, I was sent to go live with her in the Caribbean, yeah? I would have been about 5 years old. And when I say when I was living with this woman was militant, cold, yeah? Did not like broke guys, did not like dusty guys, yeah? If you're broke, if you're dusty, you can't even come to that woman's gate. That's her turf. You can't come there. You have to go the long way round. She used to say doctors and lawyers only. She didn't talk to no ragamuffin or no vagabond. Do you understand? Even Rastas. One Rasta come to the door. She said, shut the gate. I had to run to the front door and close the gate on him. She said, don't bring those people to my door. I didn't bring him. Yeah? And let me tell you something. She wasn't no queen of the island. She wasn't no queen of the community. She was a regular woman. But in her mind, she was elite. And she carried herself as such. Yeah? There was even one guy she was dealing with. And I remember one time she made a phone call. And the whole family, not myself, but the whole family went to Martinique. And he put them all up in a house, hotel, everything. How many of you guys can make a phone call right now and a man will do that for you? You can't. Because you don't demand it of yourselves. Do you know how many women are complaining, oh, men are unreliable, men are this, men are that. But can you get that out of him? What do you do? Yeah? I'm going to give you a tactic. It's a little bit manipulative. I shouldn't really say this, but why not, innit? The most powerful thing ever for a woman, yeah? A man needs to feel like he needs you. Yeah? A lot of women think opening their legs and putting on a baby voice and going, yeah, babe, is enough. Is that the best you've got? God didn't stop making vaginas when he made your one. What is so great and special about yours that a man of a certain level should do everything in his power to fund your lifestyle? There's many like you. That makes sense? He needs to feel like he needs you. Do you know how much men with money, even look at famous celebrities, they'll have their wife and people will be like, oh, he's been with her for 20 years. He didn't switch up on her. He didn't. He feels like he needs her. I know guys with their own businesses. They stick to their woman like glue because they feel like they need her. He doesn't need her, but he thinks he needs her. That makes sense? When a man thinks he needs you, he will never get rid of you. Men don't get rid of people we think we need. I know guys who hate their own friends. Yeah? But they know if they cut off their friends and they're by themselves, their enemies are going to do them dirty. So he has to stick with the friends that he obviously doesn't like because he needs them. Men do not get rid of people we need. We just don't. That's how we're wired. Number 2, a man needs to think that you'll leave him. The reason a lot of you women get cheated on is because the man that you're dealing with, he knows you won't leave. Yeah? He needs to think you'll leave. Even if you won't leave, he needs to think it. Yeah? Why do you think a lot of guys in the hood are so good with intimidation? And why so many people are scared of them? Most of them haven't done nothing to no one. I'll tell you that for free. They've not even pulled out a knife on someone. Yeah? But people think they will. Killing people is hard. Making somebody think you'll kill them is easy. They'll back down. Yeah? So if you're a woman and you've got a man who's of means and he's doing well in his life and he's got stuff going for him, number 1, make him think that he needs you. And number 2, make him think that you'll leave if he messes up. That's a very dangerous combination. Yeah? And I promise you, you will have your way with a lot of guys. Yeah? So that's my service. I've done my community service. I've paid my dues to the ladies. Yeah? That one was for the girls. And it's the truth. That's how you have to live your life, man. Demand the best. And I promise you the best will come to you. Simply put. Want more for yourself. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Want more for yourself. If you're dealing with a man and he's got his own business and the business is doing well, ask for a percentage. Ask for shares. Do something. Want more. Don't just have someone's child and be stuck with getting a payment every week or every month for the child. Want more for yourself. Hustle. Permanence. Stop getting some small little change or a holiday or a food and thinking you have finessed him. You didn't. Do you understand? Permanence. That's what will keep you in the game. And that's why a lot of good women cannot get the best out of men. You guys are too pure. Sometimes you have to have a little manipulation in your system. Yeah? Twang the game. Play the game how it's supposed to be played. Okay? There we go. That was a manipulative one. It's bad. Man, them are going to hate me. Such is life. Cool. What's this one? One event can charge you up, yeah? And why I rate Slim when he did that video, when he said, oh, like he went private school and stuff like that, yeah? Not everyone who picks up badness came from a bad background. That makes sense? I meet people and it's like, they'll try and give me a backstory I don't have. I've openly said to people, I did not grow up poor at all. I didn't even grow up in council housing. Do you see what I'm saying? But one event charged me up. And that can happen to anyone. Do you understand? I would have been about 14. So by the time I was like 12, 13, I was about little things here and there, but nothing serious, yeah? I would have been about those ages, 12, 13. No, 14, my bad, 14. And it was one summer, innit? And like I've described in other podcasts, I was a kid growing up. I used to like wearing designer clothes and stuff like that, yeah? But one summer, one guy that I knew, he said, yo, come chill with me, innit? But he lived in one of them ends over there. And I said to him, nah, bro, I don't know about that, man. I'm not really trying to, you know what I mean? He said, nah, it's calm, bro. It's calm. Like, I'm a someone around here. They all listen to me like I'm rated. So me like a dumb idiot, yeah? I went to go meet this guy. Bearing in mind now, I've dressed to the nines. It's summer, innit? So I got Gucci scarf, Gucci belt, trainers, Gucci hat. I don't know why I was wearing a Gucci hat, like woolly hat in summer. But anyways, so I go meet him and we go to his house, we're playing games, whatever. So I'm feeling comfortable because my friend has told me he's rated, like he knows these guys, like he's plugged in. And we're leaving now. And as we're coming out of his block, there's a bag of man chilling there, like 10 of them. And they're watching me. Obviously, I'm looking back now, but I'm not really thinking nothing of it. So I said, cool. And I'm walking and they keep watching me. So, you know, when you're taking little looks, I'm taking little glances, but once again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. And then one of them runs up to me, innit? No, two of them. It was two of them that ran up to me. And he's like to me, oh, what end's you from? So I said, oh, I live over there. He said, where's over there? But I don't really want to say where I'm from because I know the minute I say where I'm from, it's problems. So I was like, nah, I live over there. He's like, brother, I asked you a question. Where do you live? And I kept saying, oh, I live over there. And he's like to me, yeah? What phone do you have? So I said, oh, I got a BlackBerry, but it's not for you. I'm starting to realize something, yeah? And this is where I need to take accountability. Most of the problems I got into in my life is because I've got a very cheeky mouth. And I've realized in life, just shut your mouth. Just don't talk. That makes sense. I was like, yeah, I got a BlackBerry, but it's not for you. He said, yeah? And he punched me in my face. So I'm there now. I'm in shock. Remember, obviously, these times I'm taking out like boxing. So I've only been boxed in my face in sparring. Obviously, with headgear and gloves. So obviously, it's just a straight pop. So I'm shocked. I'm sitting there thinking, raw, like. So I looked at the youth. The first thing I looked at the youth, I said to him, well, brother, like, what's going on? Like, I thought you told me, like, you're good with these lot. And he stayed silent. He's just watching me like an owl. That makes sense. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, like that. And then another one said, bro, give me your phone. I said, no. Pop! You see, after the second punch, I come to my senses. I said, hold on. I'm not sitting there and letting man punch me in my face. Do you understand? So now we started tussling. So we start tussling now. And I must have done like the berserk thing. I just said, I don't care about my life. Do it then. Do what you gotta do. Like them kind of talks. Because he pulled out a knife, innit? So I was like, do it. Stab me then. Like, looking back here, I'm very thankful his heart didn't beat like that. Because I think to myself, why would I say stab me then? Like, what was I thinking, bro? I was watching too many films. So I did that now. And then as we're there, and that's like I said, tussling back, whatever, because I can actually really fight. Do you make sense? So now I'm actually starting to do my thing. I'm getting into the mode of it. And then, bro, when I look over my shoulder, I just see a bag of guys come to jump in. And that is when I received the ass kicking of my life. It was beat down galore. Yeah. Got me on the ground, kicking me up. They tore my shirt, punching me up, whatever. And they're still trying to grab my phone. So as they're kicking me in my face, because I'm on the ground and they're stepping on my face and I'm just like this. And I'm not trying to give up the phone. I'm holding my hand like that. Eventually, I got kicked here in my nose right here. And I swear to you, that was the most painful thing ever. Have you ever had someone stamp on your nose, bro? Oi, that's when I just let go of it. I'm holding my nose like this now. And they took the phone out of my pocket, yeah? And the whole time I'm angry at my friends. I'm thinking, bro, like, how can you lot stand there and just watch man rush me like that? I've only come to see you because you told me that you're good with these lot. That makes sense. I would have never come to see you if I thought you was a nobody, which you are a nobody because, yeah. Do you understand? And I went home, bro, and I just felt so violated. Don't get me wrong, I got my get back. But I felt so violated, bro, and so powerless. That makes sense. And then something came in my head. When I was 12 and I was in school, I was related to like a couple guys on it, or two guys, known killers. That makes sense. I remember one girl found out who I was related to in school. She was older than me. She was like, there's no way those are your cousins. How can you act like that, but they act like this? So obviously in year 7, I wouldn't say man was nerdy, but I had nerdy interests. So I was into stuff like anime and Beyblade and stuff like that, innit? And when she said that to me, obviously looking back now, I'm 12. Like, I'm not supposed to be bad at 12. That makes sense. But it kind of made me feel away because it gave me like, I don't want to say it made me self-conscious or it gave me a complex, so to speak. But it made me think, raw, like, if I'm related to people like that, I should naturally be a certain way. That makes sense. And that day when I got rushed, bro, a man tore my shirt and they violated me. Bro, my mindset was like, if I was like them, that would have never happened to me. And you see, after that day, when I say I just turned it up, bro, I was never the same. And I always say to people, like, sometimes it's not about being poor. Sometimes it's about how the world treats you. Because like I said, before that, it was just petty crime and doing childish little things with my childish friends. And sometimes chilling with older guys and I'm just following them around. That makes sense? But after that, I remember I went back to the block and I said, listen, like, I'm ready to live and breathe this thing. And that is when I went head first, pause. Because I thought I never want to feel like that again. So the point I'm trying to make is, it's not always poverty. I always say to people, I did not grow up poor at all. I wanted for nothing. I was just one of those kids who had a phase when I was 12 and 13 where I thought being bad was cool and I was following around some older guys. You see the day when I got my face booted in, my things taken, and I'm feeling violated, bro. You see, after that day, I was just not the same person. And it can happen. Do you understand? So I always say I rate Slim for what he said. Obviously, his reasons are much different to mine, but there's nuance in these conversations. It's not always about poverty and your mum couldn't pay the rent. Sometimes it's the way the world treats you. Sometimes one event can just change you, bro. Do you understand? So yeah, man, that's a little bit about myself. As I continue to these podcasts, I'll obviously open up more and more and give you different parts of myself and give you some of my reasons for the things I went on to do, etc., etc., and a lot of my choices in life. So that's that one. Okay. Why men and women clash in the dating market. This is very problematic with regards to dating in general, yeah? Everybody likes to call women delusional. Everybody likes to laugh at women for the standards that they set for themselves. But people actually forget men are equally as delusional. A lot of men don't actually know their level. That makes sense? A lot of men, for instance, you'll see guys in the hood and they'll cuss like women from the hood. She's a hood rat. She's hood. She's too hood for me. She's ratchet. She's whatever. But this is your counterpart. She's your mirror. That makes sense? You just don't like the reflection that you're seeing in the mirror. You see me, yeah? Growing up, I dated hood rats. Well, not the hardcore hood rats, like the hood princesses. You know what I mean? There's certain women that they were just too, you know what I mean? Obviously I don't really interact with women like that now, but I would never look down on them or disrespect them because at some point in my life, I was that. I might have been an intelligent hood rat. and a well-spoken one, but I was still a hood rat. I did all the hood rat things. That makes sense. And that's the problem with men. Like, they want women to like them for them, and life doesn't work like that. You have to have something about you. I was training with a guy. This was a while back actually, and he was into that weird like kind of red pill stuff. And he was always cussing women and saying stuff like women don't like these kind of men, and you know, like all the stuff the red pillers talk about. And I was listening to him for a second until I took a look at him. And I looked at him. I said to myself, it makes sense why women don't rock with you. You look crazy, bro. He was cutting his hair all one level, no fade, nothing. I said, this guy's crazy. He was wearing clothes for the sake of wearing clothes. No thought, no intentionality behind his clothes. Just clothes. Yeah? I said, this brother looks insane. And it's just like, this is why women don't like you. You don't put in any effort to yourself. There's men that wake up, they don't drink water, they just back fizzy drinks. Not like, no thought towards their health. Their eyeballs look like piss. And they're like, oh, women don't like me because you look sick. Do you understand? This is a you problem. Do you get my point? Brother, put in effort. You see me, I wasn't always a clean guy. I'll be real. I'll tell the truth. When I was in year 7 and primary school, I used to go in the bath, yeah, and put on the shower and pretend that I was showering. I was a stinky guy, bro. Do you understand? And then my dad cussed me out. Yeah, he used to call man Japhus. I don't even know who Japhus is, but the name sounded crazy. That's what he used to call man Japhus. Do you understand? One time he drove me around and he cussed me for like 2 hours. Yeah, and I looked in the mirror when I got back and I said, I don't want to be Japhus anymore. And I made a conscious decision to stop being like Japhus. Because I was a wild kid, bro. I didn't used to cut my hair. I didn't care about my hygiene. Bro, I was just living life on the edge. Do you understand? Until I had to look in the mirror and decide I didn't want to be Japhus anymore. And I just want to say, yeah, Japhus, wherever you are, if you see this, I just want to say thank you. Because you made me fix up. If you're not a real person, or if you are a real person, your name sounded so insane that I just didn't want to be like you. So Japhus, I just want to say thank you, yeah? And secondly, obviously I'm not going to insult you lot until you fix up because that's toxic. However, I fixed up. And I had to say to this guy, big man, it's 2025, you need to fix up. You need to fix up. Put in some effort. Look after yourself, bro. Do you understand? Bro, women like men who are like themselves. There are some guys out there who speak the Queen's English. Yeah? You will never see women from the hood dating men like that. Because there's not the same. There's no compatibility. So if a woman from the hood is dating you or she's attracted to you, that means she saw something in you that felt like home, whether you like to admit it or not. That makes sense? Simple. Don't try and escape. This is your level. This is your counterpart. You can't look down on her or treat her a certain way. It's like, I always say, women are like follow fashions, yeah? I've never heard a man say, oh, women do Pilates, so I want to do Pilates. No. Whatever we do, they find a way to infiltrate. So it's like, if you want to have access to better women, bro, you need to conduct yourself in a better way. Bro, you see, like even growing up, there's women that used to chill with us on the block. And I used to look at them and think, why are you hanging with us? But this is what the boys in her community do. So she's following them. It's that simple. So you can't look down on a woman and say, oh, she's a hood rat, she's this and that. This is your woman. She's exactly like you. You can't think you're entitled to a better woman when you still conduct yourself in a certain way. So no, women are not the only delusional ones. Yeah? It's men as well. And that's that. And even with like regards to women on the dating market, yeah? I know this is something people often say a lot. Oh, women don't take accountability. Women have no accountability, whatever. Brother, I find it so fascinating because they really don't think nothing's their fault. It's actually kind of amazing. Whatever they do is someone else's fault. And the reason it's problematic is like, cool, you can't request men to be men or men to be a traditional man when you carry yourself a certain way. One thing I've clocked with women, bro, they want to get away with murder. They'll act however the hell they want to act and they still expect you to act like a man from the 1950s. Do you get what I'm saying? It's mad. They'll say, this guy's not acting like a real man, but you're not acting like a real woman. So it's like, which one is it? Do you get what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, the way I've heard certain women talk to men, I've even had women crash out on me. And then you sit there and you think to yourself, cool. If he spoke to you like that, you'll be saying he's aggressive or you feel unsafe. So why do you think it's okay to talk to him like that? One thing I've clocked with women, like, they think men don't have feelings, bro. Like, guys have feelings. They feel things. So you can't be sitting there saying, cool, I can treat him however I want and he's supposed to just take it, or he's not a real man. But if he does that to me, it's problems. Like, it's weird, bro. Do you understand? So yeah, man, I think that's the problem with the dating market in general. Also, I think the problem with dating is people don't go with who they're aligned with. People think chemistry equals compatibility, and it don't. Do you understand? Like I was just cussing nice guys earlier. Bro, if you're this way inclined, find someone who's that way inclined. That makes sense? You can't say someone's a hood rat with anger issues when you're a good guy. Go and find a good woman. You can't complain that men are a certain way when you act that way. Do you know how many women I've heard say, oh, I'm just a girl? You're not. You're Captain Jack Sparrow, bro. A lot of these girls act like pirates. They can outdrink you. They can outsmoke you. It's crazy. Do you understand? You're not just a girl. Stop talking about, I want traditional men. Men have to be traditional. You see the men you lot romanticize, and I made a TikTok video about this. Yeah? You know those guys used to punch up their wives if the dinner wasn't cooked a certain way? I'm talking about man that used to drink moonshine. Yeah? You act a certain way. You even look at him funny, he'll bust your head. The only problem with men nowadays is that we talk more. We're more expressive. That's it. There's no real difference. Yeah? So that's all I have to say on that. That's the issue. I think everybody needs to fix up and pattern up. And when we do fix up and pattern up, then we can start finding more like-minded people. We can gel with people. But the problem with like people in general, especially with dating, men want women to be a certain way and women want men to be a certain way instead of everyone just trying to meet everyone in the middle. Yeah? So that's just my 2 cents. What we got? This is my favorite. I do this a lot, yeah? Men judge women by the men they've dated, yeah? And I'm guilty of this. I don't care. I would judge you. If your ex is a creature, if your ex is a guy that I would never have any respect for, you, my darling, we are done. Yeah? Be careful what's on your CV or your resume, because I will judge you. You see me, yeah? I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'll pretend that I'm open-minded, yeah? So that I can get you to tell all your horror stories, and I'll judge you. I'll say, I'm not like these other guys, they're insecure. I'm nothing like these guys. I'm nothing like them, babes. Just tell me your stories and I will judge you. Do you understand? I never forget one girl I was dealing with when I was like 20, yeah? She said to me, oh, me and my ex had sex in the cemetery. Yes. She was saying to me, oh, me and my ex had sex in the cemetery. I said, the cemetery? Where the dead go to sleep for the last time and you think me and you have a future? No way, bro. I will judge you. And a lot of men are the same. Yeah? So keep your dignity intact. And as I close this, as some of you may know, I've got a book called Northwest 10, yeah? Northwest 10, the book. Simply put, it's 500 pages of dry snitching. I've spoken about some of my own experiences, some of my former friends and associates' experiences, stuff from newsletters and news articles, and just stuff that I've heard in general, I've known. So it's as close to the truth as the truth can be, yeah? I've gone really into detail. I've explained a lot of things. My favorite character is Marcus, because he's a guy that he went to private school and he lived in a good home. And his family's lost money once his dad's died and his mum's had to move to the ends. And he's completely like a fish out of water. And due to him getting bullied and other issues, he jumps on the road. There's another character called Rianne that I love. One of my other favorite characters. She was abandoned by her mum to live with her grandparents. Certain things happened to her. I won't get into details. With her uncles. She's left the house after stabbing one of them. She's gone back to move in with her mum. Her mum is not the same person. And she's rebranded and she's had to mold into this new household. Does that make sense? And it's a very difficult journey. And for all of them, like I've explained in another book, in another podcast, My book is essentially a eulogy for my characters' deaths, or the way my characters end up. So I would really love you lot to read it, delve into it, understand it. I've only named 2 characters, but each and every character is as rich as the other. They all stand out. Yes, some of them are based on real people. And like I said, I've taken a lot of influence from real events. So like I said, it feels as real as possible. No half stepping. So I'll provide a link where you can actually purchase the book and read it for yourselves and get back to me. Do you understand? I would love to do a segment where all I do is talk about the book, and I'd love to share or even have a conversation or a discussion with everybody that has spoken about the book. Yeah, that'd be amazing. And yeah, man, like I always say, Grey Life, once again, thank you all for listening to me. Thank you all for your support. I'll make sure that I'm as consistent as possible. I'll keep the episodes flowing, and I'll try and do my episodes bi-weekly, yeah? And once again, like I always say, Grey Life.